So here is part two of our Holy Week events from the Mystic Bible by Alexandra Sangster from Sophia Books and ProgressiveChristianity.org. These stories include the events of Maundy Thursday and Good Friday. Now Jesus knew in his heart that he didn't have much time left. He had heard about the plots to throw him in prison and put him on trial. So Jesus gathered all his friends about him and asked them to share the Passover meal. And so there they all were, young and old, male and female. And Jesus looked at them gently and lifted up a hunk of bread, and he broke it in two, and he said, "This is my body. It's broken for you. Whenever you break this bread, remember me." And then Jesus took a cup filled with wine, and he said, "Look, friends, this is the wine of justice and love, filled with my spirit. Whenever you drink this, remember me." Strange words that filled his friends with wonder. "We will remember," they said. Then Jesus was filled with a wild sadness. He felt frightened of facing the folk who hated him. He looked at the shining stars in the sky, and he felt the soft wind on his cheeks, and he didn't want to leave the world. He ran as fast as he could, and he threw himself down on the ground in the middle of a wild olive grove, and he called out loud to God to save him from the angry men. And tears of fear filled his eyes. And as he lay there weeping, he thought of all the people that he loved. He thought of the tiny children with their hungry bellies and the old women with nowhere to live. And he thought of the men in the temples telling lies about God, and of the soldiers who trampled all over the fields, smashing the trees where the tiny birds nested. And he remembered his mother Mary with her soft hands, telling him to be kind and humble. And he remembered his father Joseph teaching him about justice and hope. And he remembered that moment when he rose up from the river and he heard God's voice say, "You are my child, my beloved." And then Jesus heard God's voice again, saying, "Do not be afraid. I am with you. I have called you by your name, and you, my child, are mine." And then Jesus rose up. And he knew that no matter what happened, he would be okay. And it was in the Olive Garden, in the Garden of Gethsemane, that the soldiers found Jesus, and they took him away, and they put him on trial. And it was decided, even though Jesus had done nothing wrong, that he would be crucified. Jesus was put up high on a cross, and people stood all around and yelled and jeered, "If you are the Son of God, why don't you get down from the cross?" But Jesus just sadly shook his head. Had no one listened to him? Had no one understood? God is not a God of power and might who gets people down from crosses. God is alive inside and outside of us, filling us with love and strength. God needs our help to transform the world and to create God's kingdom here on earth. For we are God's hands and feet and eyes and mouth. The sky grew dark, and Jesus felt his spirit struggling to be free from his poor body, so broken and bruised. Storm clouds filled the sky, and lightning ripped it in two, and Jesus breathed his last. There was a young soldier standing nearby, and as he stood there watching, he was filled with wonder and said to the air all around him, "Truly, this man, Jesus, was the Son of God."